are supposed to be competitively filled. For instance, the position of permanent secretaries. Is it your position that in fact these advertisements that we see in the newspapers are just a charade to cover up things that have already been concluded in coalition agreements such as the Kenya Kwanza agreement that you have exhibited here? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mundege.
Asante, Bwana Speaker. Swali langu ni kwa Mheshimiwa Mutuse. Wakati Deputy President kunasemekana aliongea mbaya wa Jaji Maina, ndio tuweze kuangalia kuna njia yoyote, kwa sababu kila mtu ako na uhuru ya kwenda kotini ama kuita wazee ama kutumana. Kuna kitu Jaji Maina alifanya ndio tuweze kuelewa juu ya vile Deputy President aliongea mbaya wa jaji wa huyu jaji. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Senator for Kilifi.
Asante Mstahiki Speaker. Mstahiki Speaker, niko na swala kwa kutaka kufafanuliwa na wakili wa naibu rais. Katika kosa la kwanza lile ambalo lilikuwa limeandikwa, gross violation, iko katika kipengele cha 15 katika hii particulars of allegations. Kinasema kwamba mimi mnajua msimamo wangu ya kwamba watoto wakiwa wengi kuna wale kwanza kuangaliwa, si mnajua? Alafu anaendelea kuongea kwamba chakula iko jikoni karibu kuiva, watoto ni wengi, chakula ni kidogo, iko na watoto ya nyumbani na iko na watoto wa jirani, iko namna hiyo. Nataka afafanue Kiswahili hichi kinamaanisha nini kutoka kwa huyo client wake. Asante Bwana Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, allow the parties to respond to those clarifications, starting with the team from the National Assembly, and then we move to the team of the Deputy President. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If I may, the Honorable Senator Ososi, no question directed to me. Senator Nyutu, what led me to audit the wealth of the Deputy President? I'm just doing my work as a member of Parliament under Article 94 and 95 of the Constitution. Part of my work is to oversight state officers. The Deputy President is one such state officer. I set myself to draft and present an impeachment motion, and I needed to support that impeachment motion with information. Nothing else. Why didn't I also audit the President? I was not intending to bring an impeachment motion against the President. If in future another member wants to bring an impeachment motion against the President, I believe they will be at liberty to also do their work in the manner they deem. Who did this particular motion? Yours truly speaking before you, Mwengi Mutuse, the Member of Parliament for Kibwezi West, did the particular motion. You have listed several companies. Yes, indeed, you have listed several companies. And just to clarify, there are those companies that I was led by advocates for His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, and I said we have no problem with them. But also, there are companies that we have issues with, and we have stated the companies that we have issues with. And you would know, because we have handled impeachment motions in the past, that just because we do not have an issue with one particular company does not mean that those that have been proved also fall with it. But also importantly, why we listed these companies is also to demonstrate character. Character in the sense that if you have one company that is a construction company, then why do you have 3 others that are dormant? Why don't you use just that one that is a construction company to do your construction work? So it was also to demonstrate a web, an intricate web of activity to hide and conceal. And that's why we listed those companies. The affidavit of Jomo, it did not complete because it was time barred, so I do not know what to respond because he just began mentioning about the affidavit of Jomo. Senator Professor Ojiambo, Senator for Kisumu, shareholding of the 22 companies. Yes, we have appended the CR12s for the 22 companies to show that His Excellency the Deputy President has been owning what we are calling special purpose vehicles in the name of companies, either by himself or by his children or other proxies, as part of a character of a web, which is also consistent with the Esther Minor decision, and you can see those companies listed in the Esther Minor decision that are not consistent with the normal way of doing business. Because in the normal way of doing business, you would imagine if, for example, Safaricom, that is a telecommunication company, also under it had another 20 other telecommunication companies. For what purpose? You would ordinarily, a business person would concentrate on one company, it succeeds. Then if you have a different investment that is completely different from what you are doing, is when you open a different company. But all these companies, you look at their objects, you look at everything, they are all made to do the same thing. The question is why? And remember, the offense here is reasons to believe that the Deputy President has committed crimes. And we believe this is a good basis to show that these companies are not formed for a legitimate purpose. Senator, in terms of Vipingo and Olive Gardens, Vipingo Ridge, we have been able to demonstrate that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua's children are part of the directors, 2 of them. In terms of Olive Gardens, we have been able to demonstrate through the affidavit of Mr. Jomo that Mr. Jomo indeed was acting for the Deputy President in the purchase. And as much as we refer to a future promise of refund, all of us would know that offenses of corruption and money laundering are not straightforward offenses. And as much as we want to rely on technicality, and it is this technicality that has made it impossible to fight corruption in this country. If we look at it and all of us know how these things have been done, you would definitely see that Mr. Jomo is saying in black and white that he was a conduit for that purchase. We go to the Honorable Senator Mungatana, Senator for Tana River. Haki za mlima kama nilijihisi kubaguliwa. Na nafikiri ni kweli kwamba watu ambao nawakilisha na mimi mwenyewe pia na Wakenya wengi wanajihisi kwamba kama naibu wa rais ambaye anahitajika kuongea kuhusu masuala ya Kenya mzima, atazingatia tu masuala ya sehemu fulani, basi wale Wakenya wengine wote nikiwa ndani tunajihisi kubaguliwa. Na sio tu, hata wale ambao wametoka sehemu tofauti na mlima, hata wale wa mlima pia wao, you setting them against the rest of Kenyans. Senator Enoch, Exodus 23, thank you. I will keep it to myself. But I am not participating in any conspiracy against anyone. I am just doing my civic duty as a citizen of the Republic of Kenya and exercising my mandate as a member of the National Assembly, which is a constitutional mandate. I believe senators here also have done in the past, and even now and in the future, they will also bring issues in line with their mandate, in line with their responsibilities as citizens of the Republic of Kenya. Is this motion your own motion? Yes, it is my own motion. And in saying so, you say, I approved nothing. And that is not factual, just to say the least. If you go through the motion 11 grounds, and you look at each grounds, most of the grounds have sub-grounds. And you will see we have given clear evidence in many, many of them. Incidences where we have been able to admit, like for example on the tea issue and on the Sacco, Madeira Sacco, that by the time of presenting the motion I had not gathered evidence and the rules do not permit that I present new evidence. I have conceded, but only on those two. That does not mean that I have not proved anything. I have actually proved most of the grounds. So I would be urging my senator for Kitui to also be fair to my case and find that even if only one ground is proved, to also vote for the approval. Because one of the videos that are presented before this house is a speech by the Deputy President at AIC Kitui,
Two more minutes.
Which I believe the senator represents. And in that video, you will see the Deputy President telling the people of Kitui, kwamba nyinyi Wakamba hamuna shares. Hata napigana na huyu rais sana, kwa nini anawapatia viti katika serikali? Those are the people that Senator Enoch represents, who the Deputy President told them they do not have a right to be in cabinet. In terms of the oath of office, and it was done right in Kitui town. In terms of oath of office, diligently serve the people of Kenya. Yes, and that is where the problem is. You sought to serve the people of Kenya, not the people of a region. That's where the problem is. Senator Veronica, charges of money laundering. I am not aware of any ongoing proceedings in respect of the DP in terms of money laundering, but I'm aware of that the Justice Minor decision has not been annulled on merit and therefore still remains good law. Senator Ledana Olekina, that was to the DP's lawyers. Senator Methu, my good friend, Nyandarua County Dairy, I concede I have not presented evidence on Nyandarua County Dairy because, of course, of the limited timelines in terms of working on this. NCIC complaining about, the question was whether there has been any complaint to NCIC about the Deputy President's remarks. I wouldn't know because I don't work for NCIC. I wouldn't know, just to be fair. Kuruwitu and CR12, Kuruwitu was bought at 250 million, money that has not been disclosed, its source. And the owners of Kuruwitu is Vipingo Ridge, and we have also demonstrated who are the owners of Vipingo Ridge. You know, money laundering, you hide, it is a web. That's why it has become very difficult sometimes even to investigate money laundering. And there is no dispute that the two sons of His Excellency Gachagua are directors of that company. That has not been disputed. Senator Asigi, where we are using the Oxford Dictionary and not Black's Law Dictionary, law has now also delved to the place of the common citizens also to understand what it is and not the jargon of the past. And so Oxford Dictionary also offers plain English definitions, and we thought it is also good to use plain English definition because not all of us are lawyers. I do not think that it is disputed that the definition we have given is wrong in terms of what constitutes gross misconduct. Senator Karungo, my very good friend also, tribal, speaking in tribal language in Kikuyu, and whether that is not permitted under Article 7, Article 27, Article 44. Clearly, the Deputy President is a state officer and has taken oath to promote national unity. Nairobi is our capital city. All communities are here. It cannot be said that Nairobi belongs to the Akamba, much as we border here, or the Luya, or the Kikuyu. When you speak in Nairobi, you must be sensitive. It is just like speaking in Senate in mother tongue. Shares and company. Clearly, my answer and response is we are not, the Deputy President has talked about Kenya is a company for shareholders. He did not say that Kenya is led by Kenya Kwanza coalition, a political coalition of shareholders. So let us not twist facts. This is an afterthought. There has never been anywhere where the Deputy President said, naongea kuhusu Kenya Kwanza coalition. He has been consistent. Kenya is a company and it will benefit its shareholders. So the coalition agreements that have been adduced before you are an afterthought, are just a diversion, in my view. Access documents. How did I access these documents, including accounts? I got the services of whistleblowers when people knew that I want to do this. I got the services, I got a lot of information from whistleblowers whom I do not intend to disclose their identity because they are protected under the Witness Protection Act. Honorable Kajwang, my counsel will be talking about the issue of Brobika and how it is, that particular director is related, is connected, is linked to the nexus between that particular director and His Excellency, the Gachagua. In terms of agriculture, I did admit I did not present evidence in terms of his sabotaging of the tea, much as I have information, but I leave it at that we have not presented adequate evidence in terms of sabotaging. But Kenyans would know that that role is domiciled in his office, and the price for tea has not become any better. In fact, it is still oscillating up and down. The cooperative society I also considered, we have not presented evidence. Senator Ogwoka, the question was to the DP's legal team. Senator Omogeni, page 15, paragraph 41, whether I can tabulate, and during our closing remarks, we'll be able to...
conclude. Your 2 minutes actually.
We'll be at our concluding remarks, we'll be able to answer this question, but just for your information, the land acquired through Amunyoro Investments is 1.5 billion. The Abadeas, when we added, came to about 1 billion shillings. When you add Kuruitu, 250 million, and others that will be showing 412 million for Olive Gardens, they will all come to the figure that we are talking, or thereabout.
Now allow your
Thank
legal
you.
team to respond to the questions directed to them. If at all there are any questions directed to you.
Mr. Speaker, I believe the question was about whether there has been a complaint with regard to ground 8, any report to the relevant authorities. I believe there was a related question on whether the DP has been subjected to any prosecution for money laundering or related offenses. We are not aware of any complaint under Section 132 of the Penal Code to the police or any other relevant authority. Equally, we are not aware of any prosecution that the DP has been subjected to, but in our opening and closing, we'll be showing you it is immaterial whether there has been such a complaint, whether there has been such a prosecution, because when we get there, we'll be showing you the Supreme Court has said times without number, the Court of Appeal has said times without number, that impeachment is about political hygiene, it is about political responsibility, it is not about whether there is criminal liability or whether there is civil liability, and we'll be hoping we can persuade with lots of humility that nothing turns on whether, as a matter of fact, complaints have been launched or prosecutions have ensued, and those are not my words. They are the words of our Supreme Court, as I said, not once or twice, but several times. Thank you.
The legal team of the Deputy President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I will speak to the questions on the shareholder question. Honorable members, please permit me to answer this in omnibus, but I'll attempt to do my level best on this. The first question was, why is the President relevant in these proceedings as regards shareholders? He's relevant in two capacities, three actually. Number one, under the Constitution, the Deputy President assists the President. And so when the President tells the people of Murang'a and elsewhere that they're the biggest shareholders of government, when he signs a contract that founds the government, the Deputy President is bound to assist the President in moving that shareholder issue. That's number one. Number two, the Article 73, Subarticle 2, Subarticle